Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested, and I'm joined by Bill Doran of Punished Props, also a contributor to Tested. Today we're going to be working on a laser cutter project, and you had a great starter idea for someone who may just got a hobby laser.
Correct. Lots of people are getting their glow forges and other hobby lasers, a lot more common for hobbyists these days. I have this little number here from David Goldberg, this really cool little kit I put together. But he also sent me files to laser cut a stand out of an acrylic plastic. And it's super, super simple.
Yeah.
Just 3 pieces that slot together, and that's a stand to hold your prop.
And perfectly contoured for the silhouette of your snub-nosed blaster.
And I have a lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber. Folks are going to call me on it at home. I can't remember if this is the Empire or a New Hope version. I think it's Empire. I think it's Empire, depending on which thing is here.
Okay.
There is a couple different configurations. Anyway, I need a stand. This just sits on my desk like that, and that's no good. So, super simple, super quick laser cutting project. I'm going to show how to draw the paths in Illustrator, and then we're going to laser cut it.
Awesome. All right, Bill, so you have your lightsaber. Now, how do you imagine this being displayed?
I'm thinking tipped up a little bit. Okay. So we need a way to hold it up here and a way to hold it down there. Maybe, actually, maybe in this indent where these rivets are, so it's not going to slide. So we need the diameters of these. So I got my caliper. Caliper? It's about 1.5 inches.
It's pretty much the same the whole way through the top there.
And then over here, we're going with, I'm going to go on those rivets because that's the widest part.
Nice.
That's 1.8. Let's go with
1.5 and 1.8 inches, and then now we take those measurements and you're going to start designing in Illustrator.
That is right.
Okay, Bill, you have those 2 measurements, so you're going to start by drawing circles?
Yep, we got 1 circle for the front of it and another circle for the handle part of it, and I can just type in the measurements we took to get the right sizes.
And so what do these circles represent?
These are going to be cutouts that the handle and the tip of the lightsaber will rest in. The circles I'm drawing here, these are going to be the part that we keep. This will be the actual body of the stand that we're keeping.
Oh, it's interesting. You're going for like an oval style stand.
Sure. This is just really simple shapes. The next thing I want to do is make those stand parts the same width. So I'm just grabbing them and setting them to 3 inches wide, and then I can use these commands to center these pieces over one another so that they're all lined up.
And that top circle, that's going to be basically cut away.
Yeah.
You basically make a little crescent nook on that taller oval that's underneath it.
The bottoms of these need to be flat, so I'm using the Pathfinder, which is their Boolean operations, to use that rectangle to cut cut the bottom off, and then I use another rectangle to cut the bottom off the other one. So now the ovals have a flat bottom for them to rest on.
And that's the part that's going to be resting on the table. Now, what about the top? Do you need to do a Boolean operation there as well? Or?
You could. That would be great. That didn't seem to want to work here. So we're just going to leave those, and those will get cut out by the laser, and we're just going to throw it away, so who cares? So
what we want to keep here are these 2 half ovals with a little crescent nook on the top.
That's right.
Now, how are those then joined together to make a stand? It's like a 3-part stand.
So we want to join them with sort of another strip of plastic with a couple notches in it so that they all nest together. So then I just use the rectangle tool to draw it. I took some measurements of the lightsaber to know how long it ought to be so that the uprights land in the right spot on the lightsaber. So I actually typed in those numbers to get it the right length, and then I went and made a copy of that and made it a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, so that I had room to place the cutout notches.
So right now, that rectangle on the bottom, that's what you're keeping.
Yes.
And the rectangle on top is just a measurement because that's where you want the stand to actually hold the lightsaber, which on the bottom is very precise because it needs to be where those rivets are on the lightsaber.
This little rectangle that I drew here is going to be the notches that we cut out. And again, I use the calipers to measure the thickness of the material we're using here, the acrylic plastic. I can type that into the width of this notch and a tiny bit bigger so that there's a little bit of wiggle room. And then that piece can be moved and set into place using that reference I made earlier. And that's what we're going to use to cut the notches out for our stand. Also, I'm leaving those rectangles fully complete. I'm not doing a cutout or anything. This is how David did it in his stand there, so that I could change the width of those if I use a different width material.
And that's really the only place, like this rectangle, that one shape, where it's obviously be on 2 places on your long strip on the bottom, and then centered on these 2 stand pieces. That's what you would change.
Yep. You could just change the width of them and you're good to go. So I just set up the 2 pieces there, centered everything, and that's all the drawing. And it took me all of 3 minutes to put together.
Very cool. Well, let's take this to the Universal Systems laser cutter and cut them out. Okay, let's peel it.
Yeah, they cut it out really nicely. And now we have to peel off the protective coating. This acrylic that I got is frosted on one side, which I think looks really cool.
Which means if you wanted to put into your design like an etched logo
right
here,
kind of like David did here.
Yeah.
This acrylic has something embedded in it. There's like a little piece of corn or something in there. That's embedded under the shirt. I have never seen that before. That's crazy.
All right, moment of truth. Let's put this on here, and hopefully that registers perfectly. It does!
That's awesome.
And it does.
And the real moment of truth, will it fit?
There, and does it fit there? It does.
It does.
Actually, I'm gonna rotate it a little bit so you can display the proper points.
That's not too bad for a really short amount of work. It's a little wobbly. You could glue it together if you wanted to, or use acrylic cement. But I think it's sturdy enough, and if you just want to display your wonderful Jedi relic, then that's a great way to do it.
Really simple project to do if you have a laser cutter, or even if you have any type of CNC machine, just using a vector program, whether it's Adobe Illustrator, or you can use Inkscape for this. Or
CorelDRAW.
Yep, it's the first step in turning 2D planes into 3D objects.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Bill, for coming in, showing us a simple project. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for watching.
And if this was a helpful video, or if you know anyone that has a laser cutter, then share the video with them.
Yes, also like Bill's channel, subscribe to his channel as well. Punish Props is where you can find all of his projects. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time.